Hypocrisy and lies go together like rotten food and flies. My name is Daniel Cubas, and today I would like to speak about the thing that has been happening, that happened a few days ago. And this is the whole thing of Rudy Giuliani suing Joe Biden for defamation. It's incredible to think that at this day and age we are dealing with this, but we are. And to me, I don't understand it. You would think that somebody who is gone through a lot would stop. After being through a lot, all the lawsuits that he has been through and stuff like that, you would think, I'm losing a lot of money here. Better stop. Because I'm going to lose when it comes to Joe Biden, especially if I don't confirm what he has said. So with that said, I don't know how he could do this, getting himself in hot trouble once again. So I'm going to talk about exactly how does politics and hypocrisy have to do with people with disabilities. Today's featured people, or that I'm going to be referring to, are Cenk Uygur. He's a host from the Young Turks, Rudy Giuliani, and Joe Biden, and what these three have to do with this whole story. I'll be going into that as well. So, as I said, Rudy Giuliani is suing Joe Biden for supposed defamation. I have the clips, and I'm not able to play them here because I don't have the setup. But I will soon. I'll try and find a way to play audio clips for you when I can. But for today and for future videos until further notice, what I will be doing instead is I will be hearing the clips myself and then relating what each person said. However, I will be putting the links of where I got these clips from, so you could go out and check them yourself to verify that I'm not lying to you, and to make some corrections when needed, because just as everybody makes mistakes, I do so as well, and you will hear a lot of them during these videos, because I am visually impaired. Remember that there will be instances where you will hear my screen reader or some feedback, or the image might be blurry, or I may not be in front of the camera. A lot of things can go wrong, but my main focus here is to bring to you news and other things that are of interest not only to people who are blind, but I also try to give you guys some of the things that we have in common as sighted or able-bodied people and specifically blind people, although I will be talking about other disabilities if I have some knowledge of them. So let's start. A couple of days ago, Rudy Giuliani was holding a press conference speaking about this lawsuit that he is filing against Joe Biden. And here's what he said. He said that oh, by the way, he does make fun of Joe Biden. I will not be saying word by word what Giuliani said. In other words, I will not be mocking Joe Biden the way Giuliani did. And forgive me if there's a little bit of a, what do you call this? A delay with what I'm saying. It's a bit hard to focus on two things at the same time, but I'm doing my best. So this is what Rudy Giuliani said about Joe Biden. Your body, I'm sorry, my mistake. Your buddy, Rudy Giuliani, and this is Rudy Giuliani saying, and then he says something we can't understand, like he does sometimes, is being used as a Russian pawn, is being fed information that is not true. Rudy Giuliani goes on to say, I'm trying to give you the flavor. If you go and listen to it yourself, clearly the man or a man suffering from the beginnings of dementia. It's amazing what this guy will do for attention and how he mocks Joe Biden. If and when you listen to or see the clips or the video, you'll see what I'm talking about. So, then he says, Rudy Giuliani says this. He then goes on to say, they said that this has 4 or 5 heads of the CIA of both parties say that he is saying a bunch of garbage. Nobody believes it except his good friend Rudy Giuliani. And then he says that something else. If you want to know what Joe Biden actually said, he said this. Where we have learned countries trying to interfere in our income of our election, his own national security advisor told him that what is happening was his buddy Oh, I don't think I should. Well, I will. This is where Rudy Giuliani did not understand. Joe Biden was actually speaking out loud I don't think I should. Well, I will. She was actually debating if he should say what he was going to say next or not. It wasn't that whatever Joe Biden was saying was unintelligible, as Rudy Giuliani claimed. His buddy Rudy Giuliani, he's being used as a Russian pawn. He's being fed information that is not true. There are 50 former national intelligence folks who said that what he is accusing me of is a Russian plan. They have said that this has 4 or 5 heads of the CIA of both parties said that what he is saying is a bunch of garbage. Okay. Hopefully you could make sense out of that. Again, it's kind of hard to repeat some of the stuff and hear it and say it at the same time. But anyway, I will leave the clips where all of these things are being said so you can check them out yourself and understand this a bit better. Okay. So how does Cenk Uygur of the Young Turks fit into all of this? Clearly now you have understood that the one who is not listening to what Joe Biden was saying, this was 3 years ago, by the way. Number one, Joe Biden didn't said that Rudy Giuliani was a pawn. It was a buddies of Rudy Giuliani who said that about him. And again, this was 3 years ago at a debate. He was asked a specific question. He was answering it. And I don't know if this has any weight or if it will hold up in a court of law. This will all be hearsay. Okay, so after this, Cenk Uygur said the following. He said this to his co-host. You know what I got out of these clips? Out of those clips? Biden could barely speak back then. Like that first I can't understand what he's saying, was that first was just a word salad. And I'm not sure you could sue over word salad because they're unintelligible to begin with. Okay. And what problem do I have with that, and how does this relate to disability? As you may know, I've said it in other videos, and this is also the reason why I take a little bit more time with my videos, and this is why you might hear a delay when I speak about certain things or when I speak in general, and especially when I am hearing something and then passing it on to you. I have a stuttering problem. And I have talked about this in a past video. And I will continue to do so. I will talk more about this and how this has affected me for a number of years. And Joe Biden has also spoken about this in different occasions when he has been interviewed, or and you can tell too that he has these problems, and he has overcome this throughout the years. Okay, so for Rudy Giuliani, who is obviously a MAGA supporter who supports Trump, who, as I said at the beginning of this video, is in a lot of hot water, for him to be making fun of someone who did not ask to be born with a stuttering difficulty or with a stuttering problem, who did not ask to be made fun of, is sad. One thing is to criticize your opponent when it comes to policy, when it comes to other things that you may not like, but it's when it still falls under work-related issues. But when you start attacking someone because you don't like the way they dress, you make fun of them because of the way they talk, because of the way they walk, whatever it is, then we have a problem. And this is what Rudy Giuliani was doing to Joe Biden, as Joe Biden was trying to articulate his sentence. And obviously it was a hard thing for him to do, not because of dementia nor any of the things that Giuliani is accusing him of, but because of his speech impairment. With that said, Cenk Uygur, host of The Young Turks, who is a left-leaning person, and Giuliani is a right-leaning person, they both did the same thing. You would expect Rudy Giuliani doing this. But when somebody who claims to be progressive and claims to be, let's help people and let's, give people help and whatever they need, attacking one of their own, in this case Joe Biden, is just amazing. Cenk Uygur was making fun of Joe Biden by saying that who could sue somebody for word salad? If you guys didn't know, I think Uygur is running for president of the United States. Listen, folks, we already have Donald Trump, who has made fun of all sorts of groups, not only people with disabilities. We've had Giuliani make fun of people with disabilities, as you will be able to see and listen. You have MAGA supporters making fun of people with disabilities because they have been making fun of Joe Biden. But having somebody from the left making fun of somebody who clearly has a speech impediment, is this the type of president that we want in the United States? As I said, we had Trump, we have Giuliani, and now we have somebody from the left making fun of us as well. Whom are we supposed to trust with these kind of people around us? People from the left making fun of us for something that we can't help, and then people from the right making fun of us for something that we can't help. This is exactly what's wrong with the United States. That people are not being attacked now just for their policies and that's it. No, now everything is about personal attacks. Whatever can get a person down, whatever can get a person upset, whatever can destroy a person's career, and whatever can make that person depressed. And the sad thing is, Cenk Uygur and Rudy Giuliani, along with other people who make fun of politicians who have a disability, think that they are making fun of only that politician or only of a person of the opposite party. No. As I have stated before, they're making fun of the thousands, if not millions, of people who have that same disability. So when Cenk Uygur and Rudy Giuliani make fun of Biden for something that he is not able to control, it's as if they were making fun of me, regardless if I agree with Joe Biden or not. This is unacceptable, and this should be called out. And this is why I am making this video right now. Because enough is enough. Nobody stands up for people with disabilities. Your typical politicians will talk about LGBT, will talk about Black Lives Matter, will talk about gas prices, we'll talk about inflation. And I'm not saying that those things are not important. They are, but most of the time, people with disabilities and the things that they need are left behind, and nobody says anything about it, and we are forgotten. We are ostracized. We are stepped on. And if we dare speak about it, we get ridiculed. And if we don't say anything, that's better for all. We think that just because we don't say anything, everything must be fine with us. It's when we speak out that's the problem. But that's what we need to do. Speak out and say, enough is enough. We're not going to take this. And we are going to hold you accountable, just as we hold the right accountable for the things that they do to us. Before I leave, I want to tell you something that I experienced when I had a disagreement with someone. Back in 2008, there was this proposition or this thing to make money accessible to blind people. I'm talking about paper money. Because there is no way currently, without a physical device such as a bill reader, for blind people to know what dollar bill they are holding unless somebody tells them. That's the other way. But we deserve to know what dollar bill we are holding, just as the other person does, just as a sighted person does. And we may not want a person who is sighted to tell us, and we may not want to carry a device to tell us, because it's really distracting, and it does take a couple of seconds or more for this bill reading device to let us know what we have. And how do we know that the person who's telling us this is a $5, a $10, or a $20 bill, how do we know that that person is not lying to us? Some people can do that, and we will be none the wiser. And this is why money has to be made available for everyone. And there is a way. So back in 2008, thereabouts, the Bush administration rejected this. They said we didn't need this because we already had bill readers and people to tell us what dollar bill we were holding. At that time, we didn't have any phone apps, I don't believe, until Congress stepped up and developed a pilot program, and now a lot of people have phone apps, or they have a device that was issued to visually impaired people to fix this problem, and this was given for free. But at that time, bill readers did cost some money that a lot of blind people may not have. Okay. That was one of my main issues with then President George W. Bush. I disagreed with him on other things as well. But I don't remember me making fun of the way that he spoke, nor anything when it came to his personal life. Everything I said, I had a radio show back then, and I don't remember attacking his personal life, nor his family, nor anybody else the way both the right and the left are engaging in right now, mudslinging and personal attacks. If I were to run into George W. Bush right now, I would shake his hand. I would go and eat with him. And interestingly enough, Joe Biden was speaking about this when he was in the Senate with John McCain. Their work, as hard and as loud as they argued and fought, did not go beyond Capitol Hill. After work was done, they sat together and they chatted like good friends that they were. But when it was work time, they disagreed. And they both admitted to that at one point. I'm sure it wasn't the way that it's being done now with insults and degrading people and things like that. But it's just tough to hear this, especially because, as I have said before, you're not only degrading the person like Joe Biden or whomever you may not like right now, you're degrading other people who are going through a speech impediment or blindness or whatnot. Which, by the way, you think Cenk Uygur has been the only time that he has done this? No, it has not been the only time. He's made fun of blind people. There was a movie called Blindness that came out some time ago. And a few years ago, there was this segment on the Young Turks. And he was making fun of blind people because those people were protesting about some things that they didn't like about the movie. And so he was saying things like, how are they going to see the movie, or how are they going to find the place where to protest, or how are they going to find the theater? And just recently, he was making fun, somewhat along with his other hosts, of the Amish, because some of them got shunned because of their phone was, they had that alert and they didn't turn it off. So everybody was making fun of them, and a lot of the comments were, well, they get what they deserve. Why did they have a phone? They know the rules and stuff like that. I'm telling you, the left criticizes the right for hypocrisy and stuff like that. They're just as hypocrites as the right. People don't get this. It's the same thing. And we are not going to fix this just by electing another politician. The only way that we will be able to fix this issue once and for all is from the bottom up. It's by educating people the way I am doing with these videos. If you have any comment or suggestion, feel free to let me know via the comments. Make sure to subscribe, share, like. I am so thankful for the views that I have gotten so far on all of my videos. I've gotten 1, 2, 4, 10. On one of the shorts that I posted, I got 691 or 21, something like that. But each of these things makes me feel proud. At least people are watching this. At least somebody is paying attention. And I don't know what's going to become of these videos in a few weeks from now, months, or years from now. But if I'm able to reach one person, then that's great. At least people don't have the excuse, I didn't know where to look for information on how to help a person with a disability, or I didn't know that my comments or actions were hurting somebody with a disability. Now you know that the actions that some people in the media industry, some actions by politicians, some actions by your average American are hurting us. And it's time that we say stop. Thank you very much. And I'll catch you next time. Have a blessed day.